call you strange or I'll call you Dave?
Yeah, as long as you don't call me late for dinner. All right. Yeah. All right, so what do we got going on here? Terry Sylvester is an original member of the Hollies. He's a really good guy. And I've been wanting to have him on the show for a long time. A lot of questions about the band. But first, let's start off where I like to start off all the time. And that, my friend, is at the beginning. So let's start off at the beginning. One of my favorite groups happens to be a band by the name of the Swingin' Blue Jeans. Excellent band. And Terry, this is sort of how you were introduced to the mass media, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Blue Jeans had hits. I was with a band before called the Escorts. What you in North America would call a high school band in England is a low school band, but right. We don't talk about that. Yeah, I mean, just starting off in Liverpool, who knew? Who knew in those early days of the early, 1960s and maybe even the late 1950s of what was to happen? The Brits would come over and kind of conquer America in a nice way musically.
Speaking of the British invasion, the Swingin' Blue Jeans were best known over here in the States for their #1 hit tune, Hippie Hippie Shake. I understand that you did not play any instruments on the original recording. Is that true?
I wasn't. I was like a young pup. The Hippie Hippie Shake had already been a hit when I joined the Swingin' Blue Jeans, but I must have sung that song 1,000 times, running around all Europe and all that kind of nonsense. But yeah, I mean, we were also proud of the fact of Liverpool, England. And conquering America. I mean, we used to watch the movies and see the skyline of New York City and all that kind of thing. It was just amazing. And as I've been saying over the last few days to a lot of people, I didn't come to the States until 1970, and I remember flying in to JFK and just looking out the window, and I just kind of faded away when I saw the skyline. It was just
yeah. We actually have a couple emails to this effect. This one's from Michael, Bud Lake, New Jersey. Dear Terry, did you hear that Ray Ennis from the Swingin' Blue Jeans is retiring this year, and do you still talk to him? So what about it, Terry? You still talk to Ray Ennis from the Swingin' Blue Jeans?
Yes and no. Yeah, we do actually. I did a couple of concerts with Ray and the Blue Jeans in Canada, in Toronto and Hamilton a couple of years ago, and we had a great time. But sadly, since then, Les, the bass player, Les Braid died, passed away. So he's with that great band in the sky, as we always talk about.
Right.
But yeah, Ray taught me. He taught me how to drink, actually.
yeah. But so that's some sad stuff there. So it sounds like because they've lost an original member, Ray Ennis is the only guy that's left in the Swingin' Blue Jeans, and you're not interested in touring with him again, right? Is that what I take it as, or what?
I'm in touch with Ray. Once Ray retires, I suppose that's it, really. That's the end of the Swingin' Blue Jeans. But you got to remember, Ray Ennis was, he was way before the Beatles. I mean, this was like, the Swingin' Blue Jeans were like a jazz band in the 1950s, late 1950s, at the Cavern Club. And then they used to have the Swingin' Blue Jeans guest night, and they would have, a beat group on. And of course, one of the beat groups was the Beatles.
Yeah, so you actually got to hang out with the Beatles.
Paul McCartney and I were raised 100 yards from each other in a place called Allerton in Liverpool. He lived in Forthland Road, and I lived in Hayden Road, and my dad still lives there. And obviously Paul and I and Mike. I know his brother Mike, his younger brother Mike,
right.
And I were closer because he was younger. Because you got to remember, these guys are 5 years older than me. I remember being really kind of angry that these guys, these 19-year-olds, teddy boy types, and they had cars and they had girlfriends, and I was...
Yeah. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been asked by, you know Ringo Starr, right? Obviously.
I know Ringo very well.
Right. Have you ever been asked by Ringo Starr to join his all-star band?
No, because he knows I'll blow him off the stage. And he would...
Oh! Oh my God!
Now, you know what? Ringo and I go back a long way because his cousin, John, and I'm not sure whether he's alive or not, but he was the drummer with the Escorts. And the reason, apart from he was a good drummer, but the reason we really wanted him in the band was because he was the only one who was old enough to drive the van.
Mm-hmm. So Ringo Starr has not asked you to join the All-Star Band because he's afraid that Terry Sylvester will overshadow him.
Oh, I don't think so. Imagine? So. No. No, Ringo's a lovely boy, and he used to come and see the Hollies occasionally, and obviously, we go back a long way. We're all from. You got to remember, Liverpool is a very, very small city.
Right.
People tend to think, Liverpool, 13 million people. You must be joking. We were talking about, in those days, maybe 400,000 or 500,000 people, and then it built, and now it's gone back again. It's a very small place. But Ringo's a great guy. We're all from, and I'm sure you're going to touch on it, but I might as well hit on it right now.
Sure.
I am so proud to go into the Hall of Fame as only the 5th Liverpool-born musician.
So you were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the 5th only ever inducted Liverpool musician, and that was this year, right?
It will be.
It will. Oh, you haven't been inducted yet. When are you going to be inducted?
The Monday, the 15th of March, at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City, and as I said, it's been pointed out to me, only 5 Liverpool-born musicians are in there, and I know who the other 4. Do you want to put that question out on the internet?
I do. You know what I want to know? Are you going to be performing with the rest of the Hollies for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I'm going to be in there.
You are? You're going to be performing?
But they're not born in Liverpool.
Who? The rest of the Hollies?
The Hollies were not there. They're like a Manchester band.
Right.
So, as I said, I've studied this on the internet, and it took me about 4 weeks to work it all out.
Of course, yeah, right.
Seriously, there's only 5 Liverpool-born musicians in the Hall of Fame, and I'm one, and the other 4 are the Beatles.
There are the Beatles, and then there's Terry Sylvester.
That's it. There's nobody else. And you know what? I had a bit of a wobble.
You had a wobble.
I had a wobble because I suddenly realized, hang on.
Yeah.
Elvis Costello is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I know there's a Liverpool link there.
Yeah, but I don't think he's from Liverpool.
He's not.
No.
His mother was.
Nah.
He was born in London. Goodbye,
Elvis. All right. Let's come down from the wobble. Let's get serious. Are you going to be... everyone wants to know this. I'm getting a lot of emails about this. Are you performing with the rest of the Hollies at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony here in New York, March 15th? Let's have it out.
Yet to be sorted.
Why? What's the problem?
Graham's there. Graham Nash will be there. Alan Clark will be there.
Alan Clark, who has retired from the Hollies since 1999, he will be performing live with the Hollies.
Well, all this is yet to be sorted out because, you probably know more than I do.
What's the problem? I don't know what the problem is.
I'm going to be there.
What's the problem?
And I'll be singing, but whether Alan, I think he's had issues with his voice, so maybe he may not be singing. But hey, as far as I'm concerned, the Hollies will be singing on that show. Does it have anything to do with the fact that you were the original replacement for Graham Nash? Well, Graham, Graham and I, we're both fans of the Everly Brothers. I mean, that's about it, really, isn't it?
All right, so
Graham and I will be singing. I'm pretty confident, but as I said, the final details have yet to be released, or we're probably the last people to know, to be honest. But we will find out.
But you used to hang out. You were friendly with Graham before you were a part of the Hollies.
I was because we used to perform together. You got to go back to the 1960s in England, maybe before. Just around the time of the British invasion, all we would do was just go around singing. every night and getting as many dates as you could. And when I say dates, I mean dates for recording.
Yeah,
Not recording, I'm talking about dates for...
Yeah, no.
Dates is another thing. We will discuss at another time.
Right. Okay. So, all right. So when you had these, when you had these dates,
He's a fake.
when you had these dates with, with Graham Nash, you guys became friends, and you became good friends.
Okay, are you gay?
And I'm wondering why there's tension now. I think that you guys should all get up on stage and perform together.
No tension.
No tension.
No tension whatsoever. I saw Graham about 4 months ago. He was playing a casino up in Canada.
Solo show.
Up there, and I spent some time with him, and we were discussing it, and we were looking at each other, and we were basically saying, "Do you think that we may get in the Hall of Fame?" And we both smiled, and he, of course, is already in there with Crosby, Stills, and Nash. So Graham is going in. This is his second time.
Right.
Incredible.
Right. So this is just This is just like a nice thing for him. So when you were at this casino, after you saw Graham Nash perform solo live, and you guys were smiling, you're at the bar, you're looking at each other's eyes, did you ask him? Did you ask him? Would you have a problem with me coming up on stage and being?
There won't be a problem.
There won't be a problem.
Oh no, not with Graham and I.
Yeah.
But the problem is going to be the two guys, Tony Hicks, the guitar player,
Right.
and Bobby Elliott, the drummer. They kind of tour around the UK, calling themselves the Hollies, and that's fine. They own the name, but I'm sorry, it's not the Hollies. But they are doing a show the night we're supposed to be rehearsing at the Hall of Fame, but that's okay. We'll be up there. The most important people, vocalists. The Hollies were a vocal band.
Sure.
The Hollies were a harmony band, and we will be up there singing, I'm sure, if asked. As I said, we've yet to deal with all this.
Alan Clark, Terry Sylvester, and Graham Nash. Those are the three people that I think about when I think of the vocalist.
I think you're going to see them.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love. Now, you know what else I'd like to see? I'd like to see even if it's a short-lived tour, hopefully North America, so I could see it, of the Hollies, a reunited incarnation, and even with Elliott and Hicks. Do you think that Graham Nash holds it against Elliott and Hicks for touring as the Hollies in the UK, mainly? Do you think that they're holding?
I don't think so. I think Graham, Graham's busy enough doing his thing. I mean, I live over here in the United States now, and I'm very happy to. And that this is a great place. They love live music. The summer is just where I do these shows in the summer, and everybody gets out and enjoys. I would love to do a big tour with the Hollies.
I think you would do well with them too. And you know what's funny about this? I don't know if anybody listening is aware of the fact that Terry doesn't tour as the Hollies. Terry Sylvester tours as Terry Sylvester. You may hear it says something along the lines of Terry Sylvester of the Hollies, but he doesn't actually tour as the Hollies. He lets you know right off the bat who he is.
Oh, no, I can't. No, because that wouldn't be right.
No.
I wouldn't want to kid. I mean, I tour as Terry Sylvester, formerly of the Hollies. Now, I do a lot of shows with Peter Noon from Herman's Hermit.
Sure.
A lot of shows with Gary Lewis and the Playboys.
Yep.
And I mean, people call them oldie shows. But you know what? Hey, what's that? I mean, the biggest oldies act in the world, as far as I'm concerned, are the Rolling Stones.
Right, and they're still selling out, these large.
And Paul McCartney, but please don't tell me that these people are oldies.
Right.
You kidding? They're older than me.
Well, I don't care what you label it as, because the fact remains that you're in you're part of these concert promotion packages, and you're selling out these venues. I mean, that's the bottom line, is that people are still 45 years later coming out to see the music because everyone loves the music. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And I did a wonderful couple 2 or 3 years ago. I did a show called the Hippie Fest.
Yes.
With Eric Burden.
The Turtles.
Who else? I can't think who else was on, but there was
The Turtles. Flo and Eddie were with you.
Zombies. And you know what? It was a great show. We were pulling in 10, 12,000 people a night in these stadiums. And you know what? all we had to do was all go up and sing 4 or 5 songs. The crowd were going nuts. We were going nuts. Everybody was happy.
Yeah. This is wonderful, actually. I got a couple emails to this effect. This one is actually from Marie. Marie is from Staten Island. She wants to know, how come at Hippie Fest you did not sing the Hippie Hippie Shake live? What's going on with that? You don't do the Hippie Hippie Shake live?
You know what? I think I did on a couple of shows, but you know what? We're only allowed to sing so many songs.
Ah.
And, yeah. But, you get emails while we're talking. This is cool.
Well, my whole... You know what the thing is, Terry? Internet radio has taken over. You know, you could talk what you want about HD. You could talk about what you want with the satellite radio. Internet radio is where I found my greatest audience. I get 65,000 plus podcasts a year, 5,500 plus podcasts a month, and numerous amount of hits on YouTube. It's amazing how many people are listening online, and they send in emails. There's so many emails, I can't ask you all the questions, but I'm going to pick out my favorite ones. And I'm going to ask you this, Terry. Out of all of the Hollies, who is your favorite person to sing with?
To sing with?
Sure.
Oh, without a doubt, Alan Clark.
You love Alan
Alan
Clark.
Clark was just, I mean, I don't want to insult anybody, but, and by saying pop,
Right.
to me, Alan Clark was the greatest pop singer. In other words, pop meaning popular music.
Sure.
I used to stand next to him at Abbey Road Studio.
Yeah.
And make the records. He and Heavy, Long Cool Woman, all the songs that I breathe. He had a voice. He was the voice, and he was a lovely man. We had some fun together. I never sang with Graham because I replaced Graham, but
Right.
Alan Clark was just, and he just, his voice. If you just, all you got to do is just, you know, listen to the Hollies greatest hits. He's the lead singer, and what a voice! Fantastic.
I have here that he retired in 1999 because his wife got sick. Can you shed some light on this?
His wife did get sick.
Yeah.
Apparently she's okay, and if it's okay, but you know, all that stuff is you know, whatever you want to look on the internet and read. I don't know much about that. All I know is that Alan is an incredible singer, and is, and hopefully still an incredible singer.
So you sang on the original recording of He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother with Alan, right?
Yes, I sang the harmony on that because that was the second single. Because we're talking singles as opposed to albums, and of course Elton John played the piano on that record.
Right. Yeah. So what instrument did you play on that record?
I played that, Jeff. Do you know what? I don't think there was a guitar on the record. I think it was piano, Elton John. It was bass, drums.
Right.
And then we had Alan Clark, myself singing high harmony, and Tony Hicks singing harmony, mid-range harmony, and then we had a choir of angels, and then we had the London Symphony Orchestra with the strings, and you know, and it was just that's what really broke.
Yeah.
What broke us into the United States in the 1970s. It was just such a big. But I'm telling you right now, if I'm asked to say anything at the Hall of Fame, I am going to basically say thank you to a guy who was the Hollies manager. His name was Robin Britton, and he was a rarity in the music business. He was honest.
Really?
Yeah, and he set us up for life.
Yeah.
With our royalties from all our record companies, and we all get paid for everything we do, and you know what? As I said, it's a rarity because I hear horror stories when I you know do shows with all my friends, and they tell me about how they don't get this and they don't get that. We are set for life in us, and you know what? I think fans want to hear that because
I do. Yeah.
Who wants to hear horror stories? I don't.
This is the secret to your success, is this manager who helped you out. Are you allowed to recoup royalties off of live versions of the Hollies tunes that you release now?
I get I get paid from all. I don't want to say too much, but I am. You know what? You're speaking to Terry Sylvester, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Rock star maniac. What time is it now? In the day when I wake up at 9 o'clock, I become the businessman. Believe me.
But it's nice to hear that there actually is someone who survived the '60s that's actually making money off their hard blood, sweat, and tears.
There's too many people. There's too many people who had nothing to do with anything making money from the real talent, and it makes me physically sick sometimes.
It does.
But quite frankly, and I try to help other people on that because, as I said, I got my own publishing company, and we best not talk about business here.
Right. No.
But happiness. But happiness is this: a guy called Robin Britton was the Hollies manager, and he was a bit like a Brian Epstein type. Sadly, he passed away. Obviously, Brian did, but obviously Robin also passed away in the 1980s. But he was just a very honest guy he was a businessman who set us up, and it's very rare. But I'm not going to.
All right, let's move on.
Be happy.
Terry Sylvester, out of all the shows you've played, all the bands that you've performed with, what is the #1 concert of your lifetime? What's the one show that you look back on and say, yes, that's it?
Gosh, you do like to put people on the spot.
Listen to me. People listen to my show on a whim. They want it. These are the questions. This is it. This is the case. Let's hear it.
I would think probably something like, I think we did the Albert Hall in London in the late 1970s, and I remember our manager, again, Robin Britton, now I'll mention him again, Robin Britton, wonderful man. I remember we promoted the show ourselves, and I remember him basically saying, Alan, Tony, Terry, because Graham wasn't there, you can have your own box and you can bring your family and everything like that. And you know what? It was like being at the Albert Hall and letting somebody have their own box. And I remember doing the show and it was wonderful. I'm not saying that was the greatest, it's just a memory.
Yeah.
But there's other, there's so many. Every time I go on stage, to me, it's the one, because it's the most important thing. That's the one place I feel so happy, I feel so comfortable. I just want to be on stage, because I was born to be on stage. I believe that.
You got the huge vagina.
Do you tour with people that, do you tour with the people that you're touring with now? Have you toured with them for a long time? Do you know them a while?
You talk about the band, or?
Yeah, your band, Terry Sylvester.
Artists.
Your band.
Oh, I've got a few bands around and about. The thing with me is that, these days, logistically, it's all changed.
Yeah.
I remember coming over from, England in the 60s and 70s with the Hollies, and we brought our own equipment.
Right.
These days, you just walk into the theatre and everything.
I did not know that.
So do you...
From the rider. But, I do lots of shows with lots of great musicians, and I wouldn't want to pick anybody out as special, because I think that'll be unfair. All I know is I always have a good time, and as I said, that's my favorite place on earth, is on stage.
Prior to this March 15th, 2010 concert that's going to feature yourself, Alan Clark, Graham Nash, and the Hollies performing live, when was the last time that you performed with the Hollies? All of it, everybody, or a semi-reunion, anything at all?
1980.
Wow. So this is a huge deal.
This is 30 years. Yeah, it will be a huge deal.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is, I look at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And
I
see who's not in there.
You do? Oh, this is great. I feel the same way. It's so hard to find people who think this way that are actually going to be inducted or have been inducted. Who do you feel should be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Well, I've lived in North America for 12 years, and I'm well aware of the Hall of Fame. And every time I do a little, the great thing is these days, we get to meet people. Years ago we used to be whisked in and whisked out. You know, we didn't get to say hello or goodbye to anybody, but now, you know, we do meet and greets before and after and all that type of thing, and people come up and say, oh my God, the Hollies should be in the Hall of Fame, and I've listened to that.
Of course.
But guess what? Now the Hollies are. So what I did, I went on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame website, and I looked who's in and who's not. And it's when you realise who's not in there, it makes me feel so humble.
Do you think that Tommy James and the Shondells should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Are they in? Tell me, are they or not?
You tell me. I know the answer. What fun would that be if I told you the answer without asking?
Well, are we on Jeopardy right now?
With this, listen to me. Listen to me. This right now is your life. This is the Strange Dave Show version of Jeopardy. This is the closest thing we can come to it. Terry Sylvester, Tommy James, and the Shondells. Do you think they are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Yes or no?
Do I think? Well, I think they should be. If they're not,
I think they should. They're not. They're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's the answer.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Moody Blues.
Moody Blues. Okay. Does Strange Dave know whether or not the Moody Blues are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Here's my answer. The Moody Blues, well known for their experimental and psychedelic pop from the 60s on into the 70s, soldiering on, and even into the 80s with their major pop hits. My answer is yes, they are.
They're not?
They're not?
Nope.
What? Oh, no! All right, so all right.
Listen, Mr. Strange, you need to go on the website and find out. If I'd have known you were going to be doing this, I'd have had it all worked out.
I thought if I sounded like I knew what I was talking about.
Well, you know what? No, but seriously, it's a private club. I'm well aware of that.
Yeah.
I don't particularly know the politics of all that, but all I know is I am absolutely delighted to be heading to New York on the 14th and 15th, who will be as well, you know, to be inducted into possibly, it's the highest accolade a musician can be given. I can't think of it. I mean, you can talk about people being Sir this and Sir that and Lady that and Lady that, but that's nothing to do with music.
Well, I actually have here that you'll be sticking around a little bit longer right here in the Empire State. March 16, 2010, New York City, B.B. King's Blues Bar and Grill. You will be performing live a Memories of Abbey Road concert with Badfinger's Joey Mullen. Is this true?
That's the night after.
Yes. I'm coming to that concert, buddy.
You are welcome, pal.
I'm coming backstage. We're partying like it's 1995. You and I, buddy. That's
welcome. That's a definite. That was booked in today.
Yeah.
I am so thrilled to be doing, you know, New York City. I mean, I've mentioned this a lot. You know, I'm doing a lot of interviews, but let me explain. I was, you know, like 5 or 6 years younger than the Beatles, but used to play the same hangouts with Jerry and the Pacemakers and Billy J. Kramer, and they all got hit records. Mm-hmm. They all came to the United States, and you know, this was way before the days of the internet. But you know, so what would happen is they'd come back and say, oh, we were in New York, we were in the States, fabulous, and we did this, that, and the other. And of course, I am green pea with envy. I am a jealous man.
Right.
I'm a jealous guy, you know, John Lennon job.
Right.
And the thing is, so eventually when I joined the Hollies and replaced Graham Nash in 1968, I came to the States and I flew into New York City, and it was so exciting. And so for me to be doing all this, all these years later, it's incredible. But one thing I wanted to let you know, is that I'm delighted to be 5 or 6 years younger than the rest of them now.
You are.
It means I'm only 63.
Yeah, you know, you're not that. You're right. You have a lot more years of touring left, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Do you see yourself touring for the next 5, 10 years, even doing this type of stuff?
Oh, I want to go go beyond Tony Bennett. I just want to keep going.
Well, you look fantastic. All right, so the B.B. King's Blues Bar and Grill, March 16, 2010 concert, Memories of Abbey Road concert with Bad Fingers, Joey Molland. I take it you'll be performing some tunes of the Beatles? Is that what's going to happen?
Well, it's a lovely concept show. Basically it's the Abbey Road album, and Joey and I will be drifting in and drifting out, singing occasional songs, but we'll also be doing our own little set. He'll be singing Bad Finger songs, and I'll be singing Hollies songs. And it's like a 90-minute show. I've never been to B.B. King in New York City.
Oh, it's a wonderful place. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people perform there. I've seen Davy Jones. I've seen James Brown perform there. I've seen G.E. Smith. I've seen Chuck Berry. I've seen so many wonderful... I've seen Brian Wilson perform there. I've seen the Zombies. I've seen so many great bands play there. I think it's a wonderful venue for you. I think you did the right thing here. And remember, after the concert, you're inviting myself backstage and...
You're gonna smoke dope and
Look, this is a comedy show. This is what I do. I don't want to offend you. But after this interview...
How about when this is over, we go do a little coke?
All right. This is what's going to happen. We have Terry Sylvester on the Strange Dave Show right now. We're talking about the March 15th concert here in New York. Rock and roll inductees, the Hollies, performing live. This is breaking news. Nobody else is reporting this right now. And Terry Sylvester's a wonderful guy. He joined the Hollies back in 1968. And let's face it, Terry, you were with the Hollies during their two greatest hits.
Well, I think that, obviously, I was a Hollies fan.
Yeah.
You got to remember, I was in the Escorts and the Swinging Blues team, but I was a Hollies fan. But yeah, when I joined the Hollies, we had, in the US, we had like He and Heavy is My Brother, Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress, and The Other I Breathe, which are probably the three biggest hits we ever had.
Yeah, I also think those two songs were probably the biggest hits that the Hollies had. I mean, Carrie Ann and Bus Stop were big hits, but nothing like He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother, and Long Cool Woman. In fact, a lot of people think Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress is a John Fogerty or Creedence Clearwater song. I think
it was a song, actually, but I think we ripped it off.
All right, so Terry Sylvester admitting that the Hollies ripped off Creedence Clearwater. No, but it really is an amazing song. And to hear that Alan Clark is coming back. He's going to be performing live with the Hollies. Is there going to be a live album of the Hollies performing live at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, March 15, 2010?
Wouldn't that be nice?
I'll be wonderful.
I could do it right now. I mean, I could just step out my robe because I'm just relaxing right now. I'm just in my robe.
Yeah.
I could get out of this robe, put my dodgy stage outfit on, and get going.
Oh, let's do it. I'm ready. Get out of your robe. All right, stop. Okay, listen to me. Terry Sylvester is on tour when he's not, being inducted into the Rock and Roll of Fame with one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time. TerrySylvester.com is where you can find out some more information on this wonderfully talented singer-songwriter who is on tour as we speak. He's got upcoming shows available at his news and concerts portion of his website, Tuesday, February 9th. That's tonight. All CDs are ordered. What are you doing? You have CDs available now on your website? You're going to sign all of them?
Yeah, and you know what? There's a kind of a bit of a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame special. It's like something out of Sergeant Bilko. It's just one of those things we do, March 11th, March 11, 2010, Ohio. He's playing the Kent Stage over there. He's going to be also playing in Massachusetts, Saugus, Massachusetts, Kowloon, March 12, 2010, March 13, 2010, Freeport, Maine, March 15, 2010, Waldorf Astoria, and of course, March 16, 2010, B.B. King's Blues Bar and Grill with Joey Molland. I will be at that show. I will be reporting from that show. I will let everybody know how the backstage activities went. And of course, I will let everybody know about my imminent arrest
sprouting from that. But let's hope that nothing serious happens. 911. All right, so Terry Sylvester about to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Is there anything else you'd like to spread?
You know what? You know what? I'm blessed. Seriously, I'm blessed. Nut bras like you, I love. I really do.
All right, so listen to me. We'll get together. You're going to be here. You'll be in New York, and we'll have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, yeah.
My middle name is Good Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Terry Sylvester, TerrySylvester.com. More information on this wonderfully talented artist about to be inducted, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. We're talking about the Hollies. We're talking about Terry Sylvester and TerrySylvester.com. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Strange. Sorry, thank you, Dave.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon, buddy. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Let's arrange our backstage situation.
Absolutely. I will. I'll have my people call your people. I'll send you an email.
You just call me direct. Forget the people.
I will call you direct, and you and I will hang out.
Great interview, pal. Thank you.
Okay, Terry. Thanks again, buddy. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.